The film opens with the legend of the Ten Rings, a mystical weapon granting godlike powers to its bearer. For centuries, these rings were possessed by a man named Wenwu, who claimed to have discovered them in an ancient tomb. With this weapon, Wenwu frequently challenged other kingdoms. He single-handedly defeated their armies and seized their treasures to enhance his authority. Wenwu then established his own organization called the Ten Rings, where its members were tasked with overtaking various kingdoms and governments. Possessing godlike strength, Wenwu remained youthful and robust. However, he was still not completely satisfied with what he had, until in 1996, Wenwu and his followers sought the mysterious village of Talo to find a dragon rumored to increase power. Wenwu and his troops then headed to Talo. The path was lined with hundreds of thousands of bamboo trees. During their journey, the bamboo suddenly moved to block their path, causing Wenwu's vehicle to lose control and plunge towards a ravine. Fortunately, Wenwu survived thanks to his 10 rings. He continued his journey, and upon arriving at the gates of Talo, was confronted by a female warrior named Ying Lai. She initially repelled Wenwu, but ended up challenging him to a fight. Ying Li's mastery of Kung Fu impressed Wenwu, and he unwittingly fell in love with her. Ying Li won the fight with a spinning wind technique. Wenwu and Ying Li eventually married and had a son named Shangchai. They promised to leave their past behind to start a new, normal family life. We then see Shangchi as a child, receiving an emerald pendant or jade stone from Ying Li. Ying Li told Shangchi, "If you ever get lost, this pendant will bring you home." Fast forward to the present, where Shangchai, now an adult, lives in San Francisco under the alias Sean. At this time, Shang-Chi receives a mysterious postcard with an address on it. He spends his days working as a valet with his close friend Katie, who enjoys test driving guests' cars. That evening, Shang-Chi and Katie meet at a coffee shop with two friends, John and Sue. Shang-Chi and Katie express satisfaction with their life as valets, but Sue sarcastically comments that they are wasting their potential. After the meetup, Shang-Chi and Katie head to a karaoke club to unwind with sodas. The next morning, Shang-Chi and Katie commute to work on a public bus. En route, a thug demands the pendant Shang-Chi wears. Shang-Chi refuses, leading to a confrontation. When Katie is pushed against the bus window by a thug, Shang-Chi reveals his martial arts expertise. He fights off the thugs on the bus. He then faces the gang leader, Razor Fist, who has a large knife for a hand. Razor Fist attacks Shang-Chi, accidentally cutting the bus's brakes. This causes the driver to lose control and hit his head on the steering wheel. Katie takes over driving while Shang-Chi battles Razor Fist. During the fight, Shang-Chi instructs passengers to move to the front carriage, while he lures Razor Fist to the back. Razor Fist warns Shang-Chi, "Your sister will face what's coming." Shang-Chi then pushes Razor Fist, causing him to crash into an operating bulldozer, while Katie stops the bus by crashing it into a passing truck. Afterward, Shang-Chi realized that his pendant had been stolen, which turned out to be taken by Razor, who was still alive. Shang-Chi and Katie then returned to their apartment. Katie questioned Shang-Chi about his true identity, as she had always known Sean to be a good, non-martially skilled person. Shang-Chi confessed he had a sister named Sealing, whom he had been separated from since he left his father to come to America. He then showed Katie the address on the postcard, believed to be from Sealing, and planned to go to Macau to find her. As a friend, Katie asked Shang-Chi to take her along to Macau. On their flight to Macau, Shang-Chi shared a bit about his past with Katie. After his mother's death, his father Wenwu returned to his old ways as the master of the 10 Rings. Shang-Chi was trained in martial arts by members of the 10 Rings, including Death Dealer. Upon turning 16, Shang-Chi realized his father wanted him to become an assassin. He was tasked by his father to kill someone but refused and chose to flee to America instead. The identity of the person Shang-Chi was supposed to kill was not yet clear. Upon arriving in Macau, Shang-Chi and Katie discovered that the address on the postcard led to an underground fight club. They were greeted by John, who recognized Shang-Chi from a viral video of him fighting thugs on the bus. Inside the club, Shang-Chi saw Wong, Doctor Strange's colleague, fighting Emil Blonsky or Abomination, Hulk's enemy from The Incredible Hulk. Wong won the fight by creating a portal, causing Abomination to punch himself unconscious. Afterward, Wong and Abomination left through a portal. John registered Shang-Chi for the next fight, where his opponent turned out to be his sister, Xieling. In the fight, Xieling severely beat Shang-Chi until he revealed that their father was coming to take her pendant. After the fight, Xieling expressed her disappointment in Shang-Chi for leaving her after their mother's death. She also revealed that she owned the club, earned through her own efforts. When Shang-Chi showed the postcard, Xieling said she had sent nothing to him. At that moment, 10 Rings members arrived to capture Xieling and Shang-Chi. Xieling deliberately left Shang-Chi behind to experience being abandoned. Shang-Chi and Katie tried to escape along the building's side but were confronted by 10 Rings members, forcing Shang-Chi to fight them. The fight nearly led to Katie's fall, but she was saved by Xieling. Xieling and Shang-Chi then joined forces against the 10 Rings members. At the same time, Death Dealer arrived and stole Xieling's pendant. Shang-Chi chased Death Dealer, leading to an intense fight. When Shang-Chi defeated Death Dealer, Wenwu arrived and stopped Shang-Chi with his 10 rings. Subsequently, Wenwu took his children and Katie to the 10 Rings complex, where the members now behaved kindly towards Shang-Chi. During a meal, Wenwu revealed that the attacks were his plan to bring Shang-Chi and Xieling back. He also expressed his desire to bequeath everything to Shang-Chi, including the 10 Rings weapon. Shang-Chi refused as he didn't want to deal with the 10 Rings, which he believed made its owner stubborn. Wenwu then took them to a research room and showed maps of Ta Lo, Ying Li's origin. He claimed to hear Ying Li's voice, asking him to release her from a great wall in the mountains of Ta Lo, leading him to believe she was still alive. After Ying Li's death, Wenwu had returned her body to Ta Lo. Hearing this, Shang-Chi was skeptical. To convince him, Wenwu placed both pendants in the eyes of a dragon statue in the center room. The statue then lit up, revealing a water map of a bamboo labyrinth leading to Ta Lo, which opens once a year. The path was set to open in 3 days. Wenwu announced his plan to the 10 Rings members to attack Ta Lo and retrieve Ying Li from them. Shang-Chi opposed Wenwu's plan, deeming it wrong. Enraged, Wenwu threw Shang-Chi into a cell with Xieling and Katie. In the prison, they met a man named Trevor Slattery. He had been there for years, his only friend being a faceless creature named Morris. Trevor revealed that Ying Li had brought Morris here to be a pet. However, after Ying Li's death, Morris was neglected and then cared for by Trevor. Understanding Morris's language, Trevor explained that Morris asked for Shang-Chi's help to return to Ta Lo. Morris also offered to guide Shang-Chi to Ta Lo, even though the labyrinthine path was not yet open. Curious about his mother's village, Shang-Chi agreed to follow Morris to Ta Lo. They escaped through a route found by Xieling. Arriving at the garage, they stole the car and were spotted by Razor Fist through the CCTV. Shang-Chi's group was pursued by the 10 Rings members, but they managed to escape, thanks to Katie's driving.
Access approved.
The next morning, they reached the bamboo forest. Morris continually showed the way to Ta Lo through a secret path. However, the bamboo began to move, forcing Katie to quickly navigate the vehicle. After escaping the bamboo labyrinth, they arrived in Ta Lo. They were greeted by mythical creatures like the Killing Horse, Shishi Lions, and a group of Hundan, similar to Morris. The villagers initially appeared unwelcoming. At the same time, Ta Lo's leader, Ying Nan, Ying Li's sister and Shang-Chi's aunt, appeared. Ying Nan took Shang-Chi and Xieling to a lake and showed them a hill containing a soul-sucking creature of darkness. Here, Shang-Chi tells Ying Nan that Wenwu tried to destroy the hill, thinking that his wife was locked up inside. Ying Nan took them to Ta Lo's historical inscription, explaining that thousands of years ago, The village was attacked by soul-sucking creatures. The villagers, aided by a great protector dragon, fought back with weapons made from the dragon's scales. The villagers and dragon successfully imprisoned the creatures in a hill across the village and have since guarded it. Ying Nan explained that the whispers Wenwu heard were not from Ying Li's spirit, but from the soul-sucking creatures, luring Wenwu to free them, as only the 10 Rings owner could do so. Ying Nan then gave Shangchai and sealing suits made by Ying Li, entrusted for her children. The next day, Ying Nan took Shangchi to a training area, once used by Ying Li. She taught him techniques to defeat Wenwu. Meanwhile, Katie was taught archery by Ta Lo's leader, to aid in battle. Meanwhile, Wenwu asked Razor Fist to prepare his army to attack Ta Lo the next day. A flashback showed Ying Li playing with her children before being attacked by the 10 Rings nemesis, the Iron Gang. They demanded retribution for Wenwu's past actions. With Wenwu away, the Iron Gang killed Ying Li as revenge. Ying Li, having left her powers in Ta Lo, couldn't defend herself and died. Wenwu returned, saddened to find his wife dead. In anger, he took young Shangchi to annihilate the Iron Gang with his 10 rings. Wenwu interrogated an Iron Gang member about their leader's whereabouts and killed him in front of Shangchai. Wenwu then trained Shangchi in martial arts. When ready, Wenwu asked Shangchi to kill the Iron Gang boss, but Shangchi refused and fled to America. The next morning, Wenwu and his army arrived at Ta Lo. Shangchai and the Ta Lo warriors lined up to confront Wenwu. The battle began without delay. Shangchi tried to fight his father with a staff, but couldn't match the 10 Rings' power.
Yes, you are.
Wenwu punched Shangchi into the lake. Then, hearing Ying Li's voice from behind the hill, Wenwu leaped to the hill and found a gate made of dragon scales. As Wenwu pounded the gate, soul-sucking creatures began escaping towards the village, killing Death Dealer. Realizing the new threat, Razor and Sealing decided to collaborate. Razor Fist and his men were given dragon-scale weapons to fight the soul-suckers. Meanwhile, Shangchi, awakened by the great protector dragon created by Ying Nan, was brought to the surface and led to face Wenwu. In the fight, Shangchi used Ying Nan's movements and unknowingly controlled the 10 rings. He took 5 rings to match Wenwu's power. Then, he took all the rings but hesitated to attack Wenwu, his father. Just then, an Alpha Soul Sucker emerged from the gate. The creature captured Wenwu, intending to absorb his soul. Wenwu relinquished the 10 rings to Shangchi before dying. The creature then flew towards the village. Simultaneously, Sealing arrived on a dragon, urging Shangchi to join her. They attacked the Soul Sucker, bringing it into a water vortex. However, other creatures kept coming, strengthening the Alpha by feeding it souls. It captured the dragon, starting to absorb its power. Katie bravely shot an arrow, hitting the Alpha's throat, followed by Shangchi's 10 rings attack. Shangchi used movements to explode the Alpha's body, also destroying other soul suckers. That night, Shangchi and others held a ceremony to remember the fallen warriors, including his parents. Days later, Shangchi and Katie returned to San Francisco and recounted everything to John and Sue. Sue disbelieved them until Wong appeared through a portal, inviting Shangchi and Katie.